Happy day, friends. Thanks for tuning in to my 34-week pregnancy update. I'm 34 weeks pregnant. I am well into my third trimester, and pregnancy brain is so real. So if I have to look at my note card, I apologize, but I want to make sure I don't forget anything that's happened that I want to mention to you guys, all the symptoms and everything. I don't want to forget it. So this is my saving grace today. Baby is about 18 inches long. She's weighing between 4.5 and 5 pounds. And as you can see, my belly is definitely growing. She is a growing girl, that is for sure. She's about the size of a head of cabbage right now. And as you can see, I am stretch mark free up to this point. So if you're curious of how I've avoided stretch marks up to this point, make sure you subscribe below because my next video will be talking about that. The number one thing that I have noticed recently, and this is like into my third trimester, the hormones are going crazy, you guys. So much different than I've experienced through the first 2 trimesters of this pregnancy. And it's funny because one of my friends, actually one of my mom's friends, family friends, she asked if the hormones had kicked in yet. And I said, no, they haven't. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, my hormones haven't really bothered me this whole pregnancy. I don't think they're gonna affect me going in just because I'm in the third trimester. And sure enough, like 2 or 3 days later, they hit, and they hit hard. I didn't expect it at all. It threw me for a major loop. I started like thinking all these crazy thoughts, and it was just so out of the normal for me. And honestly, it was a little bit scary. It was really hard to deal with. And to be honest, it was hard for my husband to cope with it too. And so shortly into my third trimester, the hormones kicked in, and I ate half a pint of ice cream one night and finished it off the next morning. And I was totally okay with that. I felt like I needed that emotional support that I got from ice cream. And that leads me into the next point, the cravings. I haven't really had many cravings. Even that pint of ice cream, I wouldn't necessarily say was a craving, but it was definitely harder to say no to. When your emotions are running wild, sometimes you just need to cave every so often, and that's exactly what I did. But other than that, I really still haven't had any pregnancy cravings. This whole pregnancy, I mean, I'll have cravings here and there, but it's not that much different from normal cravings I'd have. So I've been able to say no to a lot of things, a lot of sweets and treats. However, during this third trimester, it has been getting hard for me to say no to these things. So I've been indulging a little bit more than I have throughout the rest of my pregnancy, but still trying to keep it to a controlled amount of giving into these cravings. As far as symptoms go, some of my symptoms from the first trimester, I'm starting to notice again in this third trimester. The main 2 things are slight nausea here and there. I've been noticing sometimes when I wake up in the morning or just randomly throughout the day, I'll start feeling just a little bit nauseous. I didn't deal with any nausea my second trimester, and even up to this point in my third trimester, it really hasn't been an issue for me, but lately I've been noticing here and there just a little bit of nausea. And the second symptom that's come back from the first trimester, and this one I hate, maybe too much information for some of you, but I feel like there's no TMI in pregnancy. Constipation. Constipation is back, and it's not fun. I won't go into much detail about it, but it just makes everything feel more difficult. Aside from those 2 things, some new symptoms that I'm starting to get are my feet have been swelling just a little bit, nothing extreme, nothing that makes me worry, but towards the end of the day, especially on a hot day, since it is summertime, my feet will start to swell a little bit, and I'll just feel the need to kick them up, get in the air conditioning, and just cool off and just relax for the rest of the day. I have noticed that my back has started to hurt more. I really didn't deal with this throughout my pregnancy. I think the fact that I've been able to work out and still exercise throughout the pregnancy has really helped a lot. But these past 2 weeks especially, I've noticed my back pain has been kicking in. Today I was having some nerve pain on one side. So it's just been getting a little bit worse as the time goes on, which is to be expected. My belly's growing faster and I'm having to compensate for that. So I decided that I would start seeing a chiropractor. I've been seeing the chiropractor for a couple weeks now, and I mean, I think it's too soon to tell, but whenever I leave, I feel a lot better. But I'm hoping that it really prevents my back from getting too much worse throughout the pregnancy. Tiredness is another symptom I've been having, definitely to be expected. Third trimester is hard. I didn't think it was gonna be this hard, but it's hard. It seems like the transition of like 2 or 3 weeks between the second and third trimester are really drastic, and I didn't expect that at all. Maybe it's not the same for a lot of women, but I have noticed so many things within the past 2 or 3 weeks that have just seemed like such drastic changes that I did not expect. Sleeping is really difficult now. I'm tossing and turning all night long. It's really hard for me to get a good night's sleep, and I've been waking up at weird hours. Last week there was one day that I woke up at 6 a.m. and then the following day I woke up at 4 a.m. It's just, I don't know how to control it anymore. I sleep when I can and I nap when I can, which is hardly ever because my body just doesn't want me to nap for whatever reason, even though I'm exhausted. So tiredness is definitely setting in. Another thing that I've been noticing, and I don't know if I'd consider this a symptom, maybe just something to note, that my nails have seemed, over the past week, they've seemed like they've really weakened. They were getting so long and all of a sudden they just started breaking. I don't know if that's due to the fact that they were getting so long, but I was trimming them back. But even when I trimmed them back, it just seemed like they were getting weaker and weaker. And my hair also, I've noticed, has been shedding more. At my next appointment, I'll talk to my doctor about it. I don't know if it has anything to do with me having a lack of nutrients, something like that, but it seemed like it came on pretty suddenly. So just something to note. Because from what I've read and from what I've heard is that if you experience hair loss, it doesn't typically happen until 3 or 4 months postpartum. So it's just been something that has been on my mind, something worth mentioning. I don't know, have any of you experienced that towards the end of your pregnancy? Because I haven't heard of it until it started happening to me. So maybe I need to look into it more. Some other things that I wanted to tell you guys about, just some exciting things, some like weird things, just things to note, are number 1, we went on our baby moon. That was really fun. Number 2, Austin wore a pregnancy empathy belly, and that was, I think, eye-opening for him. I feel like maybe he got to experience some of the things that I've been dealing with throughout this pregnancy. Not to mention it was hilarious, and I thoroughly enjoyed him wearing that belly just for the fact that I could see some of the struggles that he was going through and I could totally relate. And number 3, we recently celebrated the 4th of July and that made baby so jumpy. Like, she was so crazy that night. It shook her up so much and it was fun and exciting, and just watching her wiggle in my belly and feeling it, it was just really great. Some not so fun things that have happened. One of my moles started growing and that was a little bit concerning to me. Now looking into it and talking to my dermatologist after I got it removed, he said that it is fairly common for women to grow new moles or for their moles to just get bigger during pregnancy, which I had no idea was a thing. It seems like so many of you guys in the comments were saying like, yeah, this mole on my belly like grew so big, blah, 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 like so many of you, and that was shocking to me. But it was also really great knowing that I wasn't the only one that his moles were growing. The nursery is almost done, which I'm so excited about. I cannot wait to show you guys. I have like 1 or 2 more small things that I want to do before I feel like it's completely done, and then we can do our nursery reveal. I've been waiting for this for so long, but I feel like with all the nesting that I've been doing, it's more so been organizational, and I feel like the nursery really is just about finished, and it allows me to just kind of relax a little bit, which is really, really nice for me to just not feel like I have so much I need to do. And another thing we've been doing is holding this little baby. We have 2 dogs, 2 boxers. I think they're gonna be so good once baby's here, but we've been doing a little bit of training with this little baby just in case, just to kind of get them used to the idea of us holding something in our arms. We've been playing baby cooing sounds and crying just to get them used to the new noises, and I'm hoping that it's really gonna help a bit. And lastly, baby has not flipped yet as far as I know. Last appointment, her head was still up here, and from what I can tell, from what I can feel, it is still in this spot. She doesn't want to move yet. So at my next appointment, I'm going to talk to my doctor about when is normal, when I should expect her to flip, maybe if she doesn't flip by a certain time, what I can do to maybe get her to flip around. I recently heard that if they have to manually flip your baby out of breech position, that it can sometimes be more painful than the childbirth itself. I've never had a baby. I don't know. I have no idea how painful any of that is, but I'm gonna avoid it if I can. I want her to flip naturally. I don't wanna have to I don't even know what they do, but I don't wanna have to shove her down there. So I'll be talking to my doctor about that among all the other questions I have for him. I feel like as the due date draws closer, I'm thinking of all these little things that I need to talk to my doctor about, and just to kind of prepare myself, just in case she does come a little bit early. Other than that though, that's just about it. That's my 34-week update. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope maybe you guys got something out of it. For all of you pregnant mamas out there that are watching my channel recently, thank you. I've loved connecting with you guys on Facebook and on Instagram, and it's just been great knowing that I have so much support and that we can talk to each other about some of the issues that we've been having. It's really, really been a great support system. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe below. I'm gonna be talking about a lot more pregnancy related stuff as my due date draws closer. There's a lot I want to talk to you guys about that I feel like I haven't had a chance to yet. So exciting stuff is on the way, and baby's gonna be here before we know it. Bye guys, have a good one.